feel like this matchup delivers some of the wildest experiences on this map. One and all, welcome back for game number 2 of this semi-finals between B and Anatan. Dry River is where our journey takes us next, which is also like false advertising because there's not really much dry about it. Like there is literally a pond here and a here, and it's not a river, but there's plenty of fish that seem to have gotten stuck in here, and Anatan's going to be taking full advantage of them. Okay, so usually the way this matchup goes, you can see a mirror play, and we're going to see it in this game. Sometimes it's actually just a feudal rush on both sides. I feel like you have to understand your player's intent, your opponent's intent. If you see them fishing, you kind of want to fish. Otherwise, I almost feel like when I've been seeing Abbasid Japanese, the feudal rush is only when your opponent forces you to do it. The reason why you feudal rush is dry on like, say, a map like Kawasan. Abbasids can ram rush with military wing, and then Japanese shinobi rush. The problem is on this map, and you can see it by the way they've actually placed their docks, they're so far away from each other that if one goes aggro, they're very likely to arrive too late. So for that reason, we're going to see a more chill opening to this game. Your son's wearing your older son's leftover clothes? Sure. Like right now, like like instead of buying loads of new baby socks, we're just like using. I think it's the other week my son was sitting there wearing frilly baby socks because they were Freya's old ones. Oh dear. Yeah, like this is so guys. Here's the hack in life. You know, we had kids a little bit later than my siblings and whatnot because you know I had like issues to overcome with like the idea of parenting. Long story. But the benefit of doing that is that we get all the happiness, which is important because I don't make tens of thousands of dollars on content creation each month, so I can't afford new Gucci's for the kids. Now, these boys might be able to afford some Gucci's at this rate, though. I just thought about this. Anatan and B, like, these are two of the most frequent participators in the midweek musters. I think B has played in every single one. Yeah, dude, B. Shout out to B. Nobody has more participations than he does. Dumu played all the weeklies, but he didn't play the All-Stars at Christmas. B's played every single one. 21 entries. Do you guys know the other players that have participated in every single one bar the All-Stars? Let's see if you guys know like your history of midweek muster. Anatan has done 18, by the way, in total. And he was present for All-Stars. But there are, minus All-Stars, outside of Dimu, there are 2 other players with 100% participation. One of the names will really surprise you. So military wing on the way, Coca Township other side. Everything is expected, but B's timing looks a little bit better, actually. Yeah, and they both only went 1 pond. So Sass is a reasonable guess. Sass has actually played 19 out of 20 that he would have been barred before. Voldemar and Lash have also played 19 out of 20. It's Mio, Micah, and Myriad. Those are the other 2. And Kilyadi as well. Kilyadi is up there, but he played All-Stars. He did skip on some. Yeah, a lot of participation. Love the commitment. I think it kind of proves that like the format helps. With exploring ways of trying to expand midweek muster and what to do next. If people like want to actually help with crowdfunding, by the way, I'd never say no to that. I really am interested in trying to like level up what we're able to offer on a weekly and monthly basis and expanding different formats. So like there's definitely an interest in running additional different tournaments. And I've heard there are some people that like have been asking around about like, you know, different tournaments they want to see. So definitely reach out to me if you're one of those people. I will be seeing what we can achieve via Microsoft for the next financial year as well. Maybe midweek muster again? I don't know. 30 weeks of non-stop. I'm surprised my hair is still attached to my head. It's a lot of work. Okay, so B. We do have double Shinobi on the way. Tricky thing is if it's triple Shinobi, you can actually kill the archers quite quickly. We do have second dock. Okay, Anatan being very greedy. What? And it's going to work. That's so crafty. Do you guys notice what he done there? He skipped the second dock. He went third because the scout is going to be running south side with the Shinobi. He knows he's been seen here, so he draws attention away from the expansion. That's so smart. I know, he does have Camelot in the way. This used to be the classic way to go against Japan. Does require good food control to scale, though. Can you say some time back that you wanted to find a way to reward players for playing KPMM? Yes. So that idea kind of got put on the back burner because we were originally targeting time around June, and I heard loads of rumors of different like tournaments and things happening. And the idea was like, I mean, I guess I'll like be transparent. Right? Maybe we'll do it differently in the future. Maybe it'll be the next iteration of KPMM if it continues. The original idea was to try and get an initial funding point of $2,000 to $3,000 for a prize pool, and then crowdfund it up from there. And then invite the most frequent participators of KPMM to like a top 16 or something. And then we'd play that out across 3 weeks. And we'd have 2 formats. We'd have like the upper league, lower league. And lower league would be a small prize pool. And then theoretically with like crowdfunding, get that to over 5K. But there just wasn't a 3-week long gap that involved weekends. Because the idea would have been to have weekdays be the group stage and then into the lower ranks. So like basically, let's say you have top 16, you after a week or so would then put them into an upper bracket, like an upper league and a lower league, and then you play the lower league on the weekdays and the upper league on the weekends. So I really wanted to do that, but I didn't feel confident. I just didn't have 3 weeks safe that I could lock in around June. So the idea kind of got kicked down the road. It would be nice to do. I think at this stage, I've kind of relegated it to it's something we'll probably have to look at doing for an additional KPMM. If we do it again. We'll see. Yeah, focus on the game, though. We can talk more about KPMM in the future, like, game in the series when, like, there's a calming moment. Because I do think there's a lot of interesting things to dissect there. We have got Yumi spam and spam. Yumi aren't, like, the quickest killers against Camelot, guys. And we already have Horsemen coming. So it looks like Shinobi is going to be able to rush in. Archership is not going to be coming out. So good blocker there. So this is going to turn into 1 dock versus 1. There was some harassment into the base. No worker kills so far. Okay, but like at this stage, does B keep playing the Age? I mean, he's got enough stone to go for the Yumi Bannerman. Anatan still has food source, though. Does B know? I'm starting to think he doesn't realize. And he's getting traded out on the north side. Wait, he queues up another... That must be a misclick. Archership makes sense. Another fishing boat when you've got 4 is kind of crazy. There's only 2 shoreline fish. Donomesh still down, being pried by both sides. We do have Owner Bugacia. Bugacia's curious, guys. Owner Bugacia sucks against camel archers because the ladies get counted. They are light infantry. It's good against horsemen, though. The reason why it's kind of better than spearmen is Owner Bugacia can catch horsemen. Spearmen cannot. Steel Arrow is coming in fast here, but Undermesh is already in effect. Shin. And B is eager for the battle here. I know, is the Cam Archers being prioritized? The awkward issue is you already used the Shunshin. So Blink's on cooldown for 15, which is why Anatan can edge the fight. I really want to have those ninjas gone, though. Yeah, like, your priority is Archers kill Shinobi, then Horsemen win. But B is... It looks like he's intentionally just kind of pushing the Yumi forward, so the Archer auto attacks go into them. He's getting low, though. Shinobi, another Blink in. He has cleared most of the Horsemen, and now he reveals his own! Archership is going to be there, somewhat smuggled inside the fishing boats. Yeah, this is an ugly fight now for B. This is an overextension. I think he knows it. I'll consider backing up just a little. Shinobi Spear. Okay, so I think he pushes him to the edge here, but you don't commit in. Against an Archership? Because, like, if he pulls fishing boats, you're never killing this. I'm starting to wonder if B actually realized how much damage that Archership was doing. No, it almost seems like he kind of lost track of it. This is what I said, though. It's kind of weird. At a glance, when you look at fishing boats and dhows, they are very similar. Obviously, one is bigger, but you can literally see that they took one asset and scaled it up a bit. It is literally the same, bar size, net, and flag. I know that sounds like a lot of differences. But like when you're glancing and you're zoomed out, it's like, and you're focused on micro in this, you might not realize it at first. Okay, so full switch, Uma Bannerman. He's going to make it cavalry. Premium cavalry in a way. Those horsemen get hit hard. When you cast for these S tier tournaments, sure they would pay you. So to respond to Mark Staple on YouTube with that, I do cast for the S tier tournaments, but the S tier tournaments aren't exactly breaking my bank. Age of Empires 4 doesn't have much money in it. Outside of like big lands happening, and even then, like, unless you're talking about, you know, someone on the caliber of Red Bull, you're probably not getting paid. And also, we'll better shut that down. We do also have an interception. Didn't quite get the gun to kill there. He does now know there's additional dots coming through, though. And that's cheeky. He actually tried for the south side, but good villager snipe there. But yeah, let's just say, you know, if you look at what I earn from AoE for content creation plus casting, in some ways it looks more like a passion. Which is crazy, because I do put a lot of hours into it. I say that with a laugh that undertone hides a feeling of insanity. More money to SE2 with SE2 migration? Possibly, but you need to see an uptick in viewership and player count for that. You don't just like wake up one day and go, StarCraft 2 is dying, and then just like put $1 million into AoE 4. In fact, like one of the biggest awkward issues of statistically driven investments nowadays is they tend to identify trends long afterwards, because you have to keep in mind that like devs and different brands, they have a fiscal year and they can only allocate budgeting through that year, and so they're essentially planning a year behind. So like I've said this before of Age of Empires 4. Age of Empires 4, Sons of Sem wasn't enough. It had to keep doing well to then justify big upticks. Let's see if he can do well in this fight. Yumi are going off those camels, but you just see they just tank a whole flurry of shots. Oh, now it's starting to arrive though. I think this should be the difference maker, especially the Uma Bannerman if he can get in. Nice body block there. Anatan just draws fire with the A-click. Now B, he does have a military advantage, but it's kind of a lie. Something that's missing for Anatan is the boot camp. Very surprising here. Yeah, he doesn't have that extra health. We do, however, have melee priority. And this is where the premium horseman effect I talked about comes in. So you're going to have an extra melee tech over any other civ at this point in the game. That's going to put you up to 11 damage. And then the Uma Bannerman is going to buff you for 15%. So that ends up being an extra 1.6 damage. So you're hitting as hard as a Ghazi does. Japanese horsemen are kind of secretly the ace up the sleeve of you. SE2 dying can only be bad for AoE4? Not entirely true. It'll initially seem bad because people will read it as a genre dying, but then someone can take its place. And it might not be as big, but like SE2 is at its apex. Like, of course, no RTS has ever been that big. Yumi? Okay, we finally have a way of killing a Dao. It just took 33 Yumi, but he's done it. Stonk's rising. Needs to be careful of a demo ship play here. Has got the sabotage. That should buy enough time, so Yumi can now forward, and the torches can come out. Man, that samurai switch is kind of crazy. It ruined Anatan's comp. However, he stockpiled for Castle Age. And I'm wondering if B realizes that mathematically the numbers in his head just don't make sense. Something feels off. He's not that close to his own castle play. And Mass Yumi, I mean, it would be a sick upgrade path, but if you can't rush that upgrade, you're just left with units that shoot tiny twigs. Yeah, he was doing it intentionally. Anatan literally embedded the dowels inside the fishing boats so that you couldn't tell. Crafty son of a gun. Everything dies? Yeah, and like the whole goal is to bring what's next. You know, I think the meaningful joke I've made about AoE4 is, like, imagine how big AoE4 would become if they just done the Overwatch 2 treatment and made Age of Empires 5 with, like, the same stuff and maybe some new campaigns. Some people might be a little bit vexed, but, like, I don't think so. I think launch brand exposure is crazy. Like, AoE4 from a design standpoint is in a really good place. Not perfect, definitely things to still improve upon, but like the progress that this game has seen in the last 4 years, I got a lot of respect for this. Especially with how easy it could have been to lose faith along the way. Anatan, I don't think I've lost faith in him here. He has a switch for Eco Wing that he can lean to. In the meantime, he has veterancy advantage. Camel Archer. Oh, if he just kites this out, this is so jarring. Yeah. Okay, that's correct by B. He doesn't pull all because it just wastes his idle. So he pulls a few. Start step not quite on point for Anno. And nice body blocks. B will get the kill. Blown gate about to complete in a few seconds. A Yorishiro drop in an archery range would make a hell of a lot of sense for your Yumi timing, but I think realistically, that ship has sailed. Mounted Samurai is your best bet. You see Ghoulims, and also Yumi aren't going to be able to combat composite bows. The veteran archers of Abasas will destroy you. Wow, I think, did he go for a Samurai switch up? Yorishiro drops in the stables. Live coming through. No boot camp still for Anatan, mind you. Ghoulim, oh my. Shoot me harder. Harder, more. It takes so long to kill one. And he's spamming Samurai into Lancers. This is looking grim. Grim Reaper, in fact. Anatan, maybe a little bit of an overextension. Is starting to feel the firepower of the defenses. Start to back up a little bit. Also, the interception and reinforcement slowing Anatan down. Yeah, he's lost mass. Okay, so B stands up tall, says, I'm not dead yet. SC2 is also a Microsoft game. Yeah, but so this is something I think people sometimes don't understand is like acquisition doesn't mean control. And what I mean by that is like, while you could take control, you don't necessarily want to. So same logic is, for example, years ago, I don't know how many people realize this by now. I feel like this should almost be common knowledge now for esports. ESL owns DreamHack. They bought DreamHack years ago. But I knew people at DreamHack that could not leave because part of the acquisition required them to sign on for X years to get their payout. So just because you buy a company doesn't mean you just take over full, like, everything. You leave autonomy in place. So for, like, Microsoft, they don't want to immediately inherit the mess that would be Blizzard and Activision and all the different, like, arcs. There'll be areas they'll probably want to intercede and get involved over time. But you know where's a closer to home example, guys? Age of Empires 4. Age of Empires 4 was managed by Relic, and over time, World's Edge has been integrated more and more into the process to take control. They didn't immediately get given control, because that would be a nightmare. Like, logistically, you just don't have enough devs, you don't have the experience with everything. So, you know, it could be 2 or 3 years from now, nearly overseas StarCraft's budget, maybe, but, like, not now. Okay, so I know he went Eco Wing, but we still don't have TCs yet. Is that about to change? He also somehow still got away with the North Dock, but that's now exhausted. He's adding in farms. This is like the most uncomfortable phase of the game for me. Maybe an opportunity now to make it uncomfortable for Anatan. What is happening up here? The outpost is going to see it. I know, he's not reacting quick enough, though. He is going to get scouted. And the Yumi, they're quicker. Uh-oh. B, if he splits off. Okay, no, he goes north dive. I don't think he actually saw the extra villages. So, Anatan, it will cost him. Only an arm, not the whole body. He gets 14 villages out. 10 are safe. What happened to AoE 3? Same thing that happened to Age of Mythology Retold. It's an old game. You can repaint it, but like, you know, what's that, like, you can't put pig on a lipstick, not to insult the game, more the concept of like, it is what it is. It is an old game. And people usually don't like old things. The people that did will come in and play for nostalgia, but then there's of that a percentage that will just say this isn't as good as I remember and leave. And even then, in the current ecosystem, people just want new stuff. Don't call AoE a pig. It literally has an ability that turns people to pigs. So Yumi, he doesn't even try to trade out. It's not even worth staying in reach. We do have a Bugatia switch, which is actually really good for Anatan. Onimusha will deal with the Gulums. Like, I'm still worried at the core of it. Like, B doesn't have an answer to Komsabos. SC2's almost old enough to vote. Yo, do you want me to, like, mind boggle you? Heroes of Might and Magic 3 is more than old enough to vote, and I'm pretty sure on average across a year it has better average viewership than StarCraft 2. People are going to fact check me now and they're like, wait, what? It is admittedly a very heavily Eastern European and CIS crowd. Flash coming in. I like the forward with the Mad Samurai. That's actually absorbing a lot of fire. He's littered in the Bageisha as well as the Samurai. The Mango does need to be sniped. Yumi are perfect for this. Remember, if you're doing 1 damage, you might as well have more units for the same price. Kills faster. Front line starting to fail a bit. I can't believe it. B, this was so sick. The way he laid in just a handful of heavy cav completely ruined what should have just been a winning comp for Anatan. Telling the fight is at least going to get a little bit better for him. The machine gun bows proving effective, but the Golems, they're drying up fast. And also remember that Anatan is playing on finite resources. He does not have a farm transition. Meanwhile, B, he has a tidy little nest egg here. 13 farms of info food. You see that? I love that from B. He's just queued up about 8 different kills to go for 1 by 1 in a row. Tell me about Command and Conquer. Okay, so like Tiberian Sun was incredible, and Red Alert 2 was incredible. Those are the standouts. I'm gonna make some enemies with that. I think Generals is overrated. It's good, but not as good as people think. Red Alert 2 is good. And B is just turning this into a meat grinder right now. And it's kind of crazy that Yumi are winning against Komsabos. Okay, that's much better. He snipes the Onimusha. So B, he needs more frontline. Really good news here is actually like Samurai can gradually win this, but he's missing Odachi tech. That's a huge buff of +4 damage that isn't there against Gulam Archer. Like, for reference, if he got Odachi and starts spamming Samurai, he gets bonus against everything Anatan's doing. Anyone play American Conquest? Oh yeah, American Conquest difficulty scaling was confusing. Cossacks was like a better iteration of American Conquest, visually and difficulty curve-wise. But they were both cool games. Hom 3 definitely had a higher skill ceiling, but like Hom 3 is a very different style. No one's mentioned Tempest Rising just launched. That's because they didn't sponsor me, so we don't talk about them. Same reason we ain't talking about another RTS this month. Meanwhile, here I am sending you all to Heroes of Might and Magic 3 for free. They don't pay me. Alright, guys. Like, I need to do a vibe check. One's if you think Anatan's going to win this. Two's if you think B is. Because this is like... I don't think this is easily predictable. We're 25 minutes in and it's not clear. Okay. I think that's more 2s coming through than 1s, but a little bit of balance there. We do have Yorishir drop TC, but I'm sorry, where were the 1s? Might need more of them here. Triple TC now out of Abbasids. His farm transition is going to be a lot quicker than Japan's. Did I know that Anatan was 800 elo in Hom? I figured he must have played a decent amount because he came in and said that he'd smash me in it. And I was like, step back, pleb. Yo, Olden Era comes out. Me and Anatan grind that game. I beat him in a month. I'm calling it. You gotta realize something about me, chat. If I swear, it gets dangerous. That's why I've just focused on doing historical battles over, like, sweating 1v1. Because if I sweat 1v1, my life disappears. Historical battles, half my day disappears. Okay, so... with the hunker down going to Imperial, let's talk about, like, upsides both sides. Abbasid economy is ludicrous. Golden Age, agriculture, improved processing is very hard to beat mass farms. Especially for Japan. You miss out on the base eco-techs. You only buff farms close to the TC. Unit quality, though, Japan has edge. Hand Cannoneers with Yumi Bannerman is a nice buff. Composite Bow Arch is not going to feel desirable if your opponent is pumping Hand Cannoneer Samurai in late game. And forcing Japan to not do Samurai, difficult. Even Onabu Geisha, I think, do okay against archers in the hyper late because of the movement speed. But likely we're looking at maybe Samurai plus Hand Cannoneers versus Ghoulims plus Hand Cannoneers. And an extra 20 HP on your Hand Cannoneers doesn't beat an extra 5 damage HC. Not with the frontline element as well. Like, deflective armor is big. So, like, I think, yeah, if you get your best units, I'd favor Japan. But economy is a really big deal. And Abbasid's a, like, S tier eco late game. Japan's more like B tier. Caesar Free? Caesar Free was an incredible game. Caesar Free was incredible, but I would highly recommend, if you have not played it, Emperor Rise of the Middle Kingdom. In some ways, a much superior product from the same developers. Pharaoh, I think, was good, but I think if I had to rank them, I'd say top was Emperor Rise of the Middle Kingdom, Caesar Free, and then Pharaoh. I never played the Greek one, which surprised me. I didn't know about it at the time. If I did, like, I love anything Greek. Oh, we have a surge timing from B. Military Academy, the way he's prepping this, I think this is actually about Imperial into spam. And he has good map control for it right now. Find the villages on the north side. Wood-wise, if Anatan wants to keep spamming archers, he's going to need to secure more map. Long walls from B. Possibility of trade, if only this was the correct map, guys. Remember, gold is going to run out. And that's another economy detail that matters here for Abbasids. What does Japan do when all the gold veins are gone? So I do feel like B is on the clock here. He's got a timing in mind. Wow, actually he doesn't go Imperial, he reinvests. I never played Caesar 4. It didn't look that compelling. I think there's a lot of early day, like when the 3D Switch came in, early day games that just didn't resonate and didn't hold. You know, it's kind of crazy how much more beautiful like OG Stronghold looks compared to a lot of the early 3D games. Hom as well. Here's a Man Magic, just with a HD like reskin uplift. Like the way it's aged is substantially better than other games. I also, as a kid, the only anno I played was I'd say the hardest one now that I've experienced more of them. Was it 1602? No, it wasn't Anno 1602. It was the one afterwards. 1503. 1503 was like ultra clunky to figure out. I played, I think, 1400 years later, and it was like, wow, this is much easier. Yeah, I love how with Anno it started in 1600s and then went back. Like, what? Anyway, there's no going back from this. Something big is happening here. Look at B. Oh my god. He's going to trigger Imperial into rush delete tax with Yoroshiras. Oh, this is a sick timing. And look at what he caught Anatan doing. Anno was thinking camels. Hand in the cookie jar. While B's hand is around your throat. Dive comes in. He's massed out. There's no extra units to build right now. Mad Samurai absorbing a lot of fire. It's mass Onimusha only. And Tanegashima Gunsmith being rushed behind. Look at the timing. He throws away the samurai on horseback for the foot samurai to arrive. B, this is ridiculous. He's not even backing away. He's just A-clicking for glory. And it's working. I know. There's just nothing left of that back line. That premium back line that's been keeping him alive. Barely feels like it's putting a dent in this. And that's going to be a strike back by B in game number 2. Oh, what a sick read. Anno, I think he was padding himself, getting ready for more greed. He's got the 45 farms online. 2 more minutes, maybe a very different looking game with reserves. But while Japan, as we've been highlighting, is about the quality of units, Abbasids is about the quantity. And these numbers tell no lie. Quantity and quality in the camp of the 3D clan member. Border member about to be dismembered in game 2. What a cool game. And I love the way that this played out in Feudal as well. Like, I feel like we're getting a lot of games today that it's not just like greedy castle rushes. Both players are feeling strained, pressured to play the age, but we still find ourselves deep in the hole with that late game potential. And this series will be going deep into the format.